If not, I guess y'all are stuck with me. It's a sad Monday. My name, for those of you that don't know, is Amber Livesay. I am a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus. Here they are. With Plexus Worldwide, my sister, Jana Hooten, is the other half of Your Diamond Upline. And we are just so glad that you guys took some time out of your Monday night to come on here tonight, spend some time with us and hang out. If you know someone on your team that needs to be on this call, if you know a sideline that needs to be on this call, send them a quick text, shoot them a Facebook message, remind them that it's starting. Sometimes it's easy to forget, especially on a Monday. Am I right? Whew. Is everybody doing okay? Everybody's surviving. I feel like this is just a weird Monday. I don't know what it is, but if everybody's just surviving Monday. But we are so excited to have Tim and Michelle Thomas here with us on our team. I know that they are some fan favorites, and every time we see you guys at convention, you're like surrounded by a group of people waiting for, like, I don't know, your autograph or something, but it's hilarious. But I was just did a call for their team a few minutes ago, and we talked about their show. Was that what it's called? Rock the Pink Live, or?
Yeah, it was called Rock the Pink Live.
Rock the Pink Live. Who watched that? Anybody ever watch Rock the Pink Live? Yeah, I see some hands. I used to watch it. Awesome. So I'm really looking forward to tonight. I'm just going to go ahead and turn this over to Tim and Michelle Thomas.
Hey.
What's up?
So excited to be on.
Yeah.
It's funny that you brought up Rock the Pink Live, because we're going to talk tonight about big belief and doing big things, and a little bit about our journey. I would say that we've been in this, we haven't done a call together for a minute. I would just like take off, and he has no idea what I'm going to say or where we're going. So I'm sorry.
Well, I have thoughts. I just have no idea what hers are. So.
Okay, good. No, I was just going to say, like, we're going to talk tonight about big belief and doing big things. And Rock the Pink Live was a part of that for our story. And we did that every Monday for 7
years.
Yeah. Every Monday. We only missed, probably, I could tell you, a handful of times we ever missed for 7 years. And honestly, we would still be doing it. We took a little bit of a break when 2020 happened, because we really had a hard time getting on every Monday night in the middle of like world's uncertainty and be like, join Plexus and talk. It just was a weird season. And I think it was a weird season for all of us. And so we kind of pivoted and did some different things. And I think it's been fine. We've had great growth on our team, and it was just something that we needed to do for a different season. So anyways, we've
talked several times about getting it going again. And we've actually even started to do it a couple of times. We're going to try and change up our theme a little bit. And it just wasn't quite the same. And I'll say this about us and how we've operated all these years, that we do try to change. We do try to pivot. And I think part of that is because of the fact that we do have big belief in ourselves. And if you have big belief, you've got to be willing to change. Mm-hmm. And so we've definitely over the years had multiple. You've also got to be willing to stay the course sometimes, you know. So you know, belief doesn't always look the same, but in our lives, it's always been the thing that's kept us going no matter what, has been our belief.
Yeah. So I'll just go back just a little bit, because we are a husband and wife team sitting here together, and that's not as common. I think that there's a lot of times very supportive spouses, whether the guy's working Plexus and it's the wife being supportive, or most of the time it's the wife and the husband being supportive. But I just want to share a little bit about how God has used, I think, Plexus in our life, and basically answered a dream that we never dreamed. I mean, this answered a lot of things that we'd prayed for, but we never saw it through network marketing. So just like a 2-minute version of our story, 9.5 years ago, I was staying at home with the kids, and Tim was working, and financially, I have three kids. Financially, we were just super, super tight. I started babysitting. He was taking on 2 jobs, and then we ended up moving across the country. We were just trying to find a way to make it it in this world. Can anyone relate to that? Just trying to find a way to have enough money to pay the bills and to be able to actually go out to dinner every once in a while. It was just like, that's where we were at. We weren't having huge aspirations. It was just the basics. And my friend introduced me to Plexus, and I said I would never, ever, ever do network marketing. I was raised in a family where they had done several network marketing things, and they had all the big belief. I'm going to the top of the company. And it was just like, to me, it just felt like that was just something I like was turned off to the whole idea. And so my friend introduced me to Plexus, and she said, if these products do what they say they're going to do, she said, I'm going to the top of the company. I told her I would never join her. I even bought the products off of eBay just so I couldn't give her the gratification of selling to me. Y'all, I was the worst of the worst friend. I watched her for months and ended up confessing that I had bought the products off eBay. And so I confessed, and I told her, don't worry, the products didn't work. So she didn't have to worry about that.
Her friend made her do 50 Hail Marys.
No. But I said, no worries, the products didn't work, because really I didn't take the products. I didn't take them faithfully. I didn't take them. So I was a really bad friend. But after a few months, I saw my friend get off of medications, and then I saw her lose weight. And then I saw her replace a full-time income, and she quit her corporate job to stay at home and do Plexus from home. And here I was working to be an elf for a little Christmas program on the side just to make a few $100s. And I was willing to go be an elf, but I was afraid to post on social media or do something like network marketing.
Well, you were a cute elf.
I was a cute elf. But I was willing to pass out flyers. I went and passed out. I'm talking like pennies. I was willing to do dramatic things.
She also was a German beer girl.
That was fun because I'm German, and I put on a little German outfit and handed out beers. I was willing to go do that, to make a little bit of money, but the whole idea of network marketing scared me to death. I only had 100 and some Facebook friends. I never posted on social media. I was not what you call an influencer type of person. I'm an introvert by nature. But anyways, I watched my friend jump on board, and after a few months, it got my attention. And so I called Tim and I asked him if I could do this, because we didn't have any extra money. So, it was going to have to be a committed thing between the both of us. And he said,
you have to make $50 a month.
So I had to make $50 a month, you guys. He did not have big belief in me doing this. I had to make $50. That was our starting commitment.
Well, I had a little bit of belief, the faith of a mustard seed.
At least he believed I could make $50, okay? And not he didn't say I wasn't going to make anything. And truly, that's kind of where we started. We started with faith of a mustard seed. That's so good. We started with just a little bit of belief. We saw my upline having success, and we started letting that basically take root in our hearts and started allowing ourselves to imagine the possibilities. I'm a very committed person. So I went and I wrote down what I was going to do every day. And I just did those things. And it took me about a month to go silver. It wasn't anything lightning fast. I don't even think I would have made Fast Start silver in this day and age. So I went silver, in a month. And my first paycheck was like $400. And for us, that was a game changer. That was life-changing money. $400. If I was going to make $400 every month doing what I had just done over that past month, it was mind-blowing. $400 was where it was at. And I remember telling Tim, I'm like, okay, if I can make $400 doing that, what if I just increased my activity a little bit more? What if I just did a little more? What if I just did a couple things that was just more uncomfortable? Everything about this was uncomfortable. Everything about it. Posting on social media, I was scared. I'd post and then run away. And so everything about this was scary. And so the next month I made $700. And 6 months in, I got a call from my upline, and I was I was making good money at this point. It was good money. And she called me and she said, Michelle, you're going to the top of the company. You're going to get a Lexus and you guys are going to go on a trip to Hawaii. I called Tim and I said, Tim, we're going to get a free Lexus and go on a trip to Hawaii. And he was like, how do you know? And I said, my upline Sonia just told me that's what I was doing. And he was like, okay. And I don't know if you guys realize the power that you have as an upline and a sponsor, but I believed her. Like I literally believed her. And I started acting like I was going to Hawaii. Like I think think things shifted in our life around that time. Do you want to talk at all?
Well, I mean, no, not at all. I don't have anything to, this is the longest 2 minutes in
I
the
know,
history
I'm
of
sorry.
the world.
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, it's 2 minutes though. I think you're at 1 minute and 58 seconds right
No.
now.
Okay, I'll tell you where Tim will take that from here.
No, actually, you're doing a good job. Actually, I just thought I'd make a joke.
Okay, go ahead. Do you want to
You
say
go
something?
ahead.
Okay, so about 1 year into this, I hit Emerald. Okay, 1 year into it, I hit Emerald, and I got the Lexus, and I got that, it was that moment, that defining moment. And I told Tim, I'm like, I felt like at that point, like I had done, like Tim was very supportive of Plexus at that point. He was very supportive. He was, would get me customers. He would go to vendor events with me. We were definitely a team from the very beginning. But when I hit Emerald and he was about Ruby, I came home from a leaders retreat, and I'm just going to tell you what, never miss an event. Never, ever, ever. If you are not planning to go to convention, you better stop what you're doing. I think registration is still open, or did it close? Amber, I don't know. Maybe it was closed. If not,
I think it closed yesterday, right? May 15th.
I'm a day late. I was thinking it would. Anyways, if you could do the virtual still, or it doesn't even matter from here on. My first convention, I was Ruby and I didn't go. I didn't think it was important for me to go. I'm just going to let you know that events develop you more faster and more like the trajectory of going to an event is far beyond anything that you can take away from any kind of a virtual thing. I just believe it. I've seen it where it's changed my business. But I came home from my first ever event, which is Leaders Retreat. And I told Tim that if I've done this pretty much by myself, what could we do together? I was like, what if you just quit your job? Like, what if we just went all in? What if we became like the network marketing couple? Like, what if we do it?
And so, so I did. I went to my boss. I didn't do it like right away. I told her I have to think about it. And I think it was probably a good 2 to 3 weeks that we were going back and forth talking about doing it, which isn't very long. I mean, in the scheme of things, for most people, that's probably like you made that decision in 3 weeks. Well, I mean, it was kind of mind blowing how fast it had grown. I'd never seen anything like it. And to be honest, the job that I was working at, it was a good job. I liked the company, I liked the people, but in some ways it was limited. And so I felt like there was an opportunity here to reach for something big. And you know what? Sometimes without big risk, there's no big reward. In fact, pretty much all the time. Without big risk, there's no big reward. And that's not to say that you can't work another job and work Plexus. That's not what that means, because most people are in a position where that's what they have to do. And you see them go to the top of the company. But what it does mean is that unless you're willing to step outside of your comfort zones, because it's not just one, we've got many comfort zones. Unless you're willing to step out of your comfort zones, you will not go to the top. And where belief is found is always outside of the comfort zone. You're not believing unless you're going outside of that. That's just the way it is. And so sometimes people are like, oh, well, I talked to somebody. Great, good. You're going to have to do that over and over and over and over and over again. And it's going to continue to be uncomfortable for a long time, but eventually it's going to bring some fruit, and you just got to keep on believing that. And that's one of the uncomfortable things too, is diligence. Diligence is extremely uncomfortable, but it's also where belief is found. So your comfort zone, outside of your comfort zone, that's where belief is. Diligence, that's where your belief is.
Yeah.
So for me, going back to stepping out and just getting out of my job, I went to my boss and I told him what I was going to do. And you know what? People aren't going to encourage you if you tell them you're going to go for it big in network marketing. Just know that. I don't know if any of you have had that experience, but most people are not going to encourage you. They're going to tell you things like what my boss said. Well, I've seen those things, Tim's come and go so many times. Are you sure you really want to do that? I mean, you've got a family, it's not secure, you're going to have to watch out. I've just seen those kind of things come and go. I said, this one's different. And he didn't believe me, but I believed it. I left that job. Now I'm not happy about this, but it does teach me something. 2 years later, I went back to see that boss. We were visiting back, we were living in Florida, and we had gone back down to visit. And I went to see my boss, and they went out of business and basically had to sell everything and got bought out by another company. I would have lost my job. I would have lost everything I'd worked for there. And that just tells me that, you know what, no one can see the future and no one knows everything. But if you have something in your heart and you believe it, that's where your best options are going to be found. Mm-hmm. If you really believe it and you are willing to put in the work, if you put in the personal work and the diligence, that's where your best options are going to be found. And so I learned too that, you know, there's no such thing as a perfect thing. Those guys thought that they had it all put together, and you know, they didn't. So don't let what other people say. Also, don't let that dictate what you're going to do, because you know what? Belief is found in going against the grain. A lot of times going against what people say, that's where belief is found. Mm-hmm. So if you want to build big belief, you got to get outside of your comfort zone. You got to be diligent, and you got to go against what everybody else says. Mm-hmm. That's some scary stuff, but that's where it's at. That's where belief is.
Well, and it didn't just go into like happy land as soon as he quit his job with Plexus. Let me just share one aspect of our story, and it ties in with where we started with Rock the Pink Live. So my first year in Plexus, I didn't even have a team page. I was under Sonia Dudley, Helen McFadden. They were just flying to the top. They had a great team page. And so I just plugged all my people into that, and I would send weekly emails. So I would, you know, talk to them through email. So Tim quits his job. And then I find out that somebody in my downline had recruited 70 people that weren't real people. They were from prison and like homeless people. And so it was like a fraud situation. She had recruited 70 people in my upline. Okay. In my upline, in my upper levels. And so in a day after Tim quit his job, 70 people were removed from my upper levels. And then it was right that same month that Plexus changed their original formula of accelerator. Now, I don't know if you know, back then we had this product that was kind of like meth. You didn't have to like eat or sleep, and you were really, really skinny. But the ingredients were borderline on the not good list with the FTC or FDA. So they reformulated it. And I'm so thankful that we're part of a company that is forward thinking like that. You guys, I am actually thankful for that moment. But we had some people that was very upset about that. This was all the same month. And then because of all that drama, my upline just shut their team page down. So they just shut their team page down. All this stuff had happened, and Tim had just quit his job. So up until this point, I was like thinking, we're just going to the top. You know, things are going to be smooth sailing. Things had been pretty good with momentum up until this point until it stopped. And he had just quit his job. And I told Tim, I said, okay, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. You have to go back to work. Like, I'm like freaking out. And Tim, like, this was a defining moment for our success. And so I want you to pause and listen to this. But he looked at me and he said, we've already chosen success. We've already chosen it. So what do we got to do? What are we going to figure out? And out of that moment, like out of that just defining belief for us, out of that moment, created our team page. It created Rock the Pink. And then it created a Rock the Pink Live where we could communicate. We did Google Hangout before there wasn't YouTube Live, or there wasn't Facebook Lives back then. We did a Google Plus Hangout thing. He figured out, I mean, we was like a producer. Like it was, if you saw these beginning videos, and we were like hot mess people, but we just determined and we decided that we were going to be successful. And out of that, we created our biggest growth.
Talk about doing something outside of our comfort zone. Those live videos, listen, no one was doing live videos back then. So to go live in front of people on a computer or on a phone, we had to do it on our computers actually. To go live felt like you were like broadcasting to the world on live TV, because no one else was doing it. You didn't see people messing up on video all the time. So to be that person that was out there doing it, it was like, I mean, I was talking to 10 people and I was doing this, like I'm like shaking, thinking to myself, like, I barely could get through talking.
Yeah.
It
When you do, I mean, belief is built in the diligence, doing things outside your comfort zone. Generally, you're going to suck at it. I mean, you're going to be bad, and you can't be good until you're willing to be bad. I mean, like, that's just the truth. We were willing to be bad, and we were willing to, the pendulum really swung for us. Like I talk a lot about fear, which I'm not going to talk about fear tonight, because obviously I'm a big talker. But I'm not going to talk about fear tonight, but I was a very fearful person. I was afraid of small dogs. I was afraid of standing up in front of people. I was afraid of, like, literally, I had a lot of fears in me. I still struggle with that. I still can get very anxious and fearful about the future, even though I know that God has provided us answers and ways over and over and over and over again. Tim is like he's like the solid to my crazy. Like, that's how we've worked really, really good together. I would say that I got to Emerald. I could have probably done it on my own, but I would never be a diamond if I didn't have someone, and this could be another thing for you, someone in my life speaking the calm to my storm, someone speaking the calm and helping me keep moving forward when things felt crazy. I mean, I may have been a diamond, Tim's emerald, but we haven't, it's never about, it's about a destination. It's always about the journey. It's always who we're becoming in the middle of it. It's about the ups and the downs, and the downs are as important as the ups, because the down is where you're being, like, that's where you're getting all your superpower. When you're having those down moments and we're having the struggles, that's going to be your strength on the mountaintop, because that's where you're going to be able to speak and change people's lives, is because you went through such a down time. That gives you power in your life, is when you're willing to go through those seasons and then see it back up again. And I know for us and our business, there have been moments. There was one moment where we had moved across country to Ohio. We thought that was a great idea after we had some success in Plexus, forgot how much we hated Ohio. And so, but anyways, we got up there, and because
hopefully there's nobody on here from Ohio right now.
Oh, it's fine. They probably understand. But no, we're in Nashville now. We like it here, but we were in Ohio, and we had just moved there, and our business was going backwards. Anyone ever seen their business go backwards? Our business was going backwards, and we were in a small town. I'm like, we can't, there's nothing to do here in a small town. Like, we got to figure this out. And someone just moved away from Ohio.
Yeah.
See? Okay. Anyways, I remember Tim and I just were praying, and Tim was like, we just got to take this to God. And he woke up one morning, and I was like, seriously, I was Emerald, but I was going backwards. I told Tim, I'm like, I'm 2 months from losing Emerald. I'm not even going to be Emerald anymore. And here we had moved our family across the country. We were like sleeping, and he gets up one morning. He said, I got it. Like, God gave me a plan. And I don't even really remember what the plan was. We made a video or something. I don't even know. Like we
made a video, and we did some banners.
Oh, and we did some stuff. I don't even know. We just did it. Like he was just like, we got to do this. We got to put our money where the mouth is. We're traveling to this place and this place. And we just I'm talking, like, sometimes God will download a plan to you, and it's not necessarily something tangible, but it's a passion and an energy that it's something that, like, moves through your whole team, and it just is like, it makes something happen. Anyways, that's what happened. 3 months later, I went Sapphire. 3 months later, I went Diamond, and Tim and I hit Diamond Emerald on the same day that year. And since then, anytime I've hit a moment where I'm just like doubting myself as a leader, doubting ourselves in this business, in this industry, I know that I can go to God and be like, God, like, I'm at a loss, and he gives us fresh inspiration. And he has done that over and over and over again.
So I think that for me, like, belief, and I think the main message that we have is that belief isn't about things always going well. And if you have belief, things won't always go well. I mean, you're going to go through the tough times. That's where belief actually matters the most. It's easy to believe when everything's coming to you, right? If you have if you all of a sudden are signing up 20 people in your level ones, or
it's easy to believe whenever it's like Plexus is giving away like tablets and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like
easy to believe. That's not even belief. That's just you're doing it. You're just having it, right? Belief matters when you're going through the tough times. But what people don't want to do is stay diligent. People don't want to do that. And you have got to be honest with yourself and look at yourself. And if you don't have that person around you to encourage you, to tell you to be steady, then the next best thing you can do is do that for someone else. Because as you speak it to someone else,
that's good.
You're coming back. It's coming back to you automatically. You're speaking it out because you're speaking it out to them. You're telling yourself the same exact thing at that moment, and you actually will grab onto it and believe it because, well, you don't want to be a liar, right? So you've got to, if you're in a situation where you just don't feel like you have that person that's close to you that's speaking belief to you, then do that for somebody else. And you've got to stay with it and be encouraged by doing those things regularly. We're all going to have bad times, and sometimes our belief will wane, or sometimes our belief will dip a little bit. But there are ways to pick yourself back up. It's a choice. You step outside of where you're comfortable and you do the thing, right? You step outside of that. And every time that we've been going through a tough time, the one thing that gets our belief back is not going, oh, I'm going to believe. The one thing that gets it back, even more than writing it down and posting it up on the mirror. Like I see myself in, or, you know, what like affirmations. Gosh, I couldn't come up with the word. You know, putting your affirmations up on the board, putting your affirmations up on your mirror, and doing all those things, your dream board. The thing that's always got us going more than any of that is when we've taken action in the middle of not feeling the belief. When we didn't feel it, but we took action anyway, that's what always produces the excitement. It literally pulls you right up out of the muck, and you start to feel better automatically because you just did the right thing.
Yeah.
So
love that.
I guess I'll stop there.
Well, I think we are out of time, but I just want to go back to say, someone said that registration has been extended to June 15th. So I will go back on my tangent and say, don't miss out on convention. Do yourself a favor and be there. So
listen, everybody can have excuses. I promise you, we all can come up with excuses. You might have some ball games. You probably are scheduled to work. Your husband might have a thing. The kids, you might have kids that are, you know, got all their things going on. Listen, everybody has those excuses. But the one thing we've always done, and we told our kids, and when we went in together and we said, we're going to do this and we're going to go as hard as we can. We sat down with our kids and we said, kids, listen, mom and dad are going to be working really hard for a period of time. We might have to miss some practices. We might have to miss a few ball games here and there. But here's what we're looking forward to. We want to take you guys to Hawaii. We want to take you guys on trips. We want to do things with you. And we want to be able to afford those things for you. So we're going to work really hard. We might miss some things, but we're going to be here. We're going to make this happen. And our kids were like, cool. So everybody can come up with excuses, but the thing is that those aren't going to get you where you want to go.
Ashley, it is in Ohio, but Columbus is awesome. Let's just say that.
Come on.
No, I start off by just in Ohio, and then I'm telling them to go there in June. Okay, Amber, I'm sorry if we failed, but thank you.
No, you did. This was so good, and I'm so excited for convention. We had Genevieve on here speak to our team a couple of weeks ago, and we mentioned something about convention. And guys, if you weren't on there, let me just tell you, she said you deserve to go to convention. You deserve it. If you're on these Monday night calls, and so many of you, I see your faces every Monday night, you're working hard. I get that. You're carving time away from your family out tonight to be on this call. You want this. You want Plexus in your life as a amazing business. You deserve to be at convention. I think you need to be at convention. So get to convention, okay? Jana and I talked. We want to have the biggest group our team has ever had this year in Ohio. I got to tell you guys one quick thing, and then we'll be done. During convention last year, we held an event over here at the Marriott in Dallas. We had about 100 people come and watched it all and everything. And they're showing the video, and some of y'all may remember this. They're showing the video about Columbus, and like, amazing, incredible, the heartbeat of America, Columbus, Ohio. And we were like, what? What's Columbus, Ohio, the heartbeat of America? But it is within 10 hours, or maybe 9, driving distance from, I can't remember how many percentage they said, from like a massive amount of ambassadors. So that's part of why they picked there, was so that people, if airline tickets were too expensive or they don't want to fly, driving is still an option. So yeah. Tim and Michelle, thank you guys so very much. Does anyone have a question for them, for Tim and Michelle, before we go? Questions, comments, snide remarks, sarcastic remarks, anything? Okay, awesome. Love you guys. 80%. It is within 80% of the ambassadors. Thank you, Jana. My upline knew the answer. Wow. It is within 80% of people. You get what I'm trying to say. I'm tired, y'all. It's been a long day. Let's close in prayer and we'll go ahead and shut this down. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for Tim and Michelle and for their willingness to come on here and speak to our team. Lord, I just pray over them. I pray over their business, over their family. Lord, continue to bless them, God. Lord, I thank you for every single person who chose to get on here tonight to invest in their team. Lord, reward their efforts in great and mighty ways. We love you, Lord. We thank you and praise you for all that you are. In your name, amen. Y'all have a great night. Thank you so much, Tim and Michelle. We will see you at convention.
Have a good night.
Good night.
In Ohio.